CM 2342 kick
My Lord, I have filed this CM to be impleaded as a respondent in these proceedings.
And who is the person seeking to be impleaded?
My Lord, he is Abdullah Sultan. His credentials have been mentioned in para 3 of the CMs.
So Abdullah Sultan is also named in the report of fact focus?
My Lord, he is named in the report of fact focus.
بس ٹھیک ہے نوٹس اور دوسری ایک اور بھی ہے ٹھیک ہے This is a CM to initiate contempt proceedings. Notice to the respondents to be taken up along with the other contempt positions after conclusion of the submissions on the main petition.
سر یہ وہ ٹویٹر کے میں نے اس میں اسکرین شاٹ سارے لگا دیے جو کہ آپ کے
اس کے بعد دیکھیں گے
جی سر
مین پٹیشن کے کیسز سن کے اس کے بعد ہم چلیں گے ساری کنٹمپٹ پٹیشن ہم تب دیکھیں گے
سر اس میں اگر جو آپ نے وہ کاروائی والا آرڈر کیا تھا اگر پلیز اس کو ایکسپلین کر دیں
all contempt petitions will be taken up along with the flow of the main petition be interrupted by these petitions. یہ ساری اکٹھی سنی جائیں گی اور بھی کئی contempt petitions.
تو پھر سر آپ نے
حسن
ویسے
صاحب is enough, you do not keep interrupting the court. Please leave the
سر
rostrum
میں
now.
ٹریپنگ دا کورٹ نہیں کہہ رہا سر آپ نے ایک آرڈر کیا ہے کہ اس کو آپ نے یہ نہیں کہنا وہ پھر اسی بات کے اوپر مزید جائیں جناب کا ہی آرڈر ہے نا سر آپ نے
contempt application فائل کر دی ہے نا آپ نے ہو گیا نا اب اس کو آگے لے کے چل رہا ہے چلیے یہ کہاں جائے گی
My Lord, I'll continue with my submissions and conclude today.
Yes, I think you need to.
Yes, my Lord, I have a video that I have to play to show the court a certain fact. This video shows the...
Let's hear it. Then.
My Lord, there's no sound. Unfortunately, there's no sound in it.
What does it show?
This video, my Lord, shows that one of the victim, accused, Ashraf, who was nominated and is facing trial in FIR 73 of 22, Complainant Cross-Examination.
Is that one of the 5 FIRs?
Yes, my Lord.
Is that in one of...
My Lord, this is the same FIR in which Abdullah Shah was called by a girl called Iman and then he was later found dead. This is the same FIR. FIR 73. So this, my Lord, video shows that
when I'm looking at these videos later on,
my Lord, I can't hear you.
When I'm looking at these videos later on for the purposes of writing the judgment,
yes, sir.
how would I link this
Lord,
to a particular FIR?
I have prepared the notes, the summary of arguments.
This is, please show me. Do you expect me to read this with a magnifying glass?
This is the shortest.
Actually, you'll have to find a way of working with my court associate to tag particular videos in this with the corresponding FIRs. Right? Some method has to be developed.
And I'm also submitting a USB with my notes, summary of arguments.
Yes. So when you name those,
I've labeled them.
Label them according to.
And then I've mentioned them on.
Yeah.
So this video, my Lord, shows accused victim Ashraf, who is having a video call with the honey trapping girl called Iman, and this call is before he got arrested. Now, a number of victims had been in touch with the honey trapping girl, but this particular video shows a very specific fact, which is جو ہماری کنٹینشن شروع سے رہی کہ جب ان کو ایلیگل اریسٹ کیا جاتا ہے ان کا فون قبضے میں رہتا ہے پرائیویٹ لوگوں کے یا ہنی ٹریپنگ گرل کے, وہاں سے انکریمنیٹنگ مٹیریل ایویڈنس اگینسٹ دی کمپلیننٹ یا ہنی ٹریپنگ گرل کو ڈیلیٹ کر دیا جاتا ہے before handing the phone to the FIA for forensic. اس ویڈیو اگر آپ پلے کر دیں پلیز. یہ مائی لارڈ اشرف ہے لڑکا جو ان سے بات کر رہا ہے, اور اس کے اگر لاسٹ 5 سیکنڈز پلیز آپ چلا دیں, لاسٹ 5 سیکنڈز پلیز. اس سے مائی لارڈ جب یہ بیکاز ہی واز اسکرین ریکارڈنگ دس کانورسیشن اینڈ ہی ہیڈ سینڈ اٹ ٹو ون آف ہز فرینڈز بفور ہی گاٹ illegally picked up, arrested and ended in FIA's custody. The last few this my lord, this screenshot shows his whole WhatsApp chat log.
دکھائیں کیا یہ آپ کیا کر رہے ہیں؟
اس کی مائی لارڈ چیٹ لاگ وہ تصویر بھی ہے اسی فولڈر میں. جی
میں نے آپ کو اتنی دفعہ کہا ہے کہ ادھر میرے سامنے آیا IT والا, میں نے آپ کو اتنی دفعہ کہا you need to give the control to the presenter.
This is the picture, my lord, that is shown at the end of the screen recording. Now, if my lord, can I kindly take to the top of the screenshot? The first chat is saved as Ayat Madam.
Ayat Madam.
جی میڈم.
Okay.
اب my lord, میں نے اپنے سمری آف آرگومنٹس میں لکھا ہے یہ 3-4 مختلف نام ہیں, مخدومہ, آیت کیانی, ایمان, یہ ان لڑکیوں کے نام ہیں جو ہنی ٹریپ کرتے ہیں. اب میرے پاس مائی لارڈ اس کی یہ فائل ہے جس کے اندر فورینزک کیا گیا. اب فورینزک کی جب ہم یہ پیج دیکھتے ہیں تو اس کے اندر وہ ساری اسکرین شاٹ موجود ہے جو آپ دیکھ رہے ہیں, جو اس کی ویڈیو میں ہے. صرف جو ٹاپ پہ چیٹ ہے وہ ڈیلیٹ کر دی گئی ہے.
ٹاپ پہ کون سی والی چیٹ؟ آیات
میڈم. جی تو یہ وہ فیکٹ ہے کہ ایویڈنس کو ٹیمپر کیا جاتا ہے before FIA officially has control over the device.
یہ ایل ہاٹ سے شروع ہو رہی ہے.
جی, اور وہاں پہ آپ دیکھیں گے کہ ٹاپ پہ
کوئی ڈیٹس, ہاں, چتر صاحب, FB اقرا, دلو, علی جان, لیکن اس کے اوپر ایک ایل ہاٹ کی کال اور ہے.
جی وہ بھی ڈیلیٹ کر دی گئی ہے.
تو یہ اس پہ 2:36 PM شو کر رہی ہے. تو آن ڈیٹ کہاں آ رہی ہے اس کی؟
اور ڈیٹ نہیں آ رہی ہے, اور یہ اسکرین ریکارڈنگ ہے جو انہوں نے اپنے دوست کو بھیجی.
ہاں, بٹ the sequence of the calls below is exactly this.
Yes ma'am.
So in that case یہ اریسٹ کب ہوا ہے؟ یہ 2:36 PM پہ کال ہے.
جی مطلب اس پہ تو ڈیٹ نہیں مینشن, بٹ ان کی اریسٹ کی ڈیٹ میں فائل سے بتا سکتا ہوں کس ڈیٹ کو اشرف اریسٹ ہوا تھا.
So how you connecting this girl آیات میڈم and this person کہ یہ وہی خاتون ہے جو کہ باقی FIRs میں بھی,
کیونکہ یہ ایکیوزڈ خود کہتا ہے اور یہ اس کا بیان ہے, وہ بتاتا ہے, اس نے اپنے لائرس کو بھی بتایا کہ میں ایک خاتون سے ٹچ تھا, انہوں نے مجھے بلایا تھا اور اس کے بعد میں پکڑا گیا. یہ وہی FIR ہے مائی لارڈ جس کے اندر پولیس تھانہ شالیمار کی ضمنی بھی لکھ رہی ہے کہ ایک کی لاش ملی جس کو بلایا تھا ایک خاتون نے, اور باقی 2 کو خاتون نے بلایا تو وہ کسٹڈی میں پائے گئے اور ان کو شامل تفتیش کیا گیا. ان کا بیان بھی تھانہ شالیمار نے لکھا, جس کی میں نے بیٹر کاپی ضمنیاں جناب کو سبمٹ کر دی.
اس کی سمری آپ نے لکھی ہے اپنے؟
جی مطلب اس میں میں نے سمری آف آرگومنٹس میں مینشن کر دیا.
سافٹ کاپی آلسو.
جی
سافٹ کاپی آلسو.
میں ویٹ کروں.
So you will give at the conclusion a USB with all the videos that you have shown during your submissions,
yes,
tagged with the respective FIR.
Right.
Then also this written submission that you are giving, describing all your submissions in soft copy in Word to him also. وہ ایک USB میں ان کو دے دیجیے. اچھا.
اب مائی لارڈ میں ٹورڈز دی اینڈ آف مائی سبمیشن اگر میں جناب کو ایک سندھ ہائی کورٹ کا آرڈر بھی دکھا سکوں جس کی ایک خاص سگنیفیکینس ہے، جس کا میں نے ایک ویڈیو سے اسٹیبلش کرنا ہے. یہ مطلب 8 بیل پٹیشنز تھیں، انہی کیسز کی بابت تھیں، اور یہی سیکشنز تھے. سیکشن 11 بی کا 295 ABC. اس کے if I can take my note to page number 3 کا باٹم جو 6 پیراگراف انہوں نے کوٹ کیا. Should I start now? No one stops the FIA from proceeding against any offence, but its choices cannot be selective. In the present case, it is the FIA's version that the whole story originates from a WhatsApp group operated by unidentified operators from a country that we have at the state level always considered hostile to us. The content on these groups is outright horrendous and not restricted solely to blasphemous material. There are also indications of dissemination of child pornography. The FIA should investigate the blasphemy allegation, but it is not expected that a law enforcement agency be overwhelmed with emotion, not look at a potential crime fully and professionally, and restrict their investigation to just one aspect when there are other serious ones in the situation. It should have been looked into if there is even the remotest possibility that attempt to destabilize Pakistan is being made. Next paragraph. The issue at this stage is whether the applicant created and disseminated the blasphemous content. This doubt would have been significantly mitigated if the investigation officer documented its investigation well, sealed the phone when recovered, collected evidence which could stand the test of legal scrutiny, obtained a call letter record, and obtained official ownership documents. The WhatsApp snapshot showed that other persons might be receiving the images, which should have been brought within the ambit of investigation. 2. Why was no investigation done on the WhatsApp group and the Facebook page from where the issue arises? And when, according to the FIA, unidentified person from a hostile country are the operators, it is a question that completely eludes others. Cases such as the present one have the potential to arouse a lot of commotion and create instability. It is therefore imperative that the investigation is professional, complete and watertight. More effort needs to be taken at all levels to uphold and protect the honor of our religion, but at the same time also prevent false accusation and the use of religion as a pretext to create instability in the country. Enemies of the countries would then succeed in their nefarious designs. یہ my lord, انہوں نے آج سے 6-7 ماہ قبل یہ بیل الاؤ کی. اب ان بیلز کو الاؤ کرنے کے بعد ایک ویڈیو سرفیس کی سوشل میڈیا پہ جو میں جناب کو پھر دکھا سکوں, only to establish the intimidation and the state of fear that the alleged gang and their counsels create.
یہ آپ کیا کسی وکیل صاحب کا سوشل میڈیا پہ آ کے کسی فیصلے سے ناراضگی کا اظہار کر رہے ہیں؟
صرف ناراضگی نہیں, صرف ناراضگی ان کے جو الفاظ ہیں اور جو کیپشن ہے اوپر وہ یہ ہے کہ آنریبل کانسٹیٹیوشنل کورٹ نے ختم نبوت پر حملہ کر دیا.
دیکھیے, میں جو کچھ بھی کروں گا نا, جہاں بھی کہوں کہ لوگ اس پہ بات کریں, کورٹ کو ان باتوں سے گھبرانا نہیں ہے, رائٹ. اور اگر میں ان چیزوں کے اوپر میں نے وچ ہنٹنگ شروع کر دی کہ تم نے یہ کیوں کہا, تم نے وہ کیوں کہا, دیکھیے کورٹس آر ناٹ میڈ آف گلاس, سو اٹ ڈزنٹ میٹر. لوگ اگر بات کر رہے ہیں, ایک سوشل میڈیا is a venting platform. The more you try to regulate it, the more harm it causes. Right? So اگر کوئی بہت ہی غلط بات ہے اور کوئی مجھے ضرورت محسوس ہوئی کسی وقت پہ, لیکن یہ ایک ایموشنل ایشو ہے, پوری نیشن اس کو there are views on both sides. I'm not going to...
میں یہ نہیں کہتا کہ وکیل صاحب کے خلاف ایکشن لے لیا جائے اس بات پہ, ان کا فریڈم آف اسپیچ ایکسپریشن ہے. میں یہ اسٹیبلش کرنا چاہ رہا ہوں کہ ان کے اس بیان سے, ان کے اس عمل سے ایکیوزڈ وکٹمس کا رائٹ ٹو فیئر ٹرائل انفرنج ہوتا ہے. There are handful of counsels who would even take these cases.
دیکھیے,
but once this is done,
if the trial court listens to this, right, then harm ہوتا ہے نا. And let us assume that the trial, which is a valid assumption, that the trial judge is a professional judge and he is sufficiently capable of not being influenced by this and will confine himself to the evidence produced. یہ چیزیں بات کریں. it's a serious issue.
Fine.
टॉकिंग ऑफ विच, आपने कई दफ़ा मुझे इन केसेस में और बाकी वकला साहब ने भी ये कहा है कि जो ट्रायल कोर्ट्स दे इन दीज केसेस वर्क अंडर अ लॉट ऑफ प्रेशर.
Yes, sir.
This statement has been made several times. Again, the court, the High Court, has under its superintendence all the courts working in the country, in ICT. I can't just ignore this point when you keep reciting this, repeating this. So, are there specific instances where this pressure was so visible and obvious that you could feel the judge cowering under it? अगर ऐसे instances हैं तो I need to know and we need to find a way of this not happening again.
चलो एक इंस्टेंस में आपको ये मेरे कंपेंडियम में है, मैं आपको उसकी बाबत थोड़ा सा असिस्ट कर देता हूँ. This is page 198.
Have you as defense counsels also felt threatened during these trials?
But we're, first of all, we're heavily outnumbered in the courtroom.
That's different, unless that gets
And
into a
then
punching complex, and that's different.
There's a lot of interruption. There's a lot of intimidation by the other side. Not just the counsel, but the families who attend these hearings. There have been incidents of physical scuffles in trial court as well. And then there are incidents of not following the
लिखिए
due
जरा
process.
ये ऑर्डर में आज आप लिखेंगे. During the course of this hearing this petition over the past 7-8 months, on several occasions the various counsels for the petitioners mentioned that the learned trial courts conduct blasphemy trials under a lot of pressure. And apprehension of harm. Full stop. There is anecdotal evidence of that too. Full stop. I wonder whether this matter is within the knowledge of the learned district judge and whether he had a conference with his colleagues hearing such, conducting such trials. If it is within his knowledge and he has not escalated that matter up to the High Court, then one needs to know why. If it is not within his knowledge, then perhaps this order will serve towards that, to that end. This court expects to receive a report from the learned district judge within 2 weeks from today, whereby he will hold in-camera sessions, whether jointly or individually as deemed appropriate by him, to apprise to the court the degree to which the learned session judge, the learned trial courts feel overawed in these proceedings, overawed in these proceedings, and if possible, and if any learned judge has had any extreme experiences which he or she would rather not like to repeat while conducting any further trials, then those should be documented too. Full stop. The report will be submitted through the MIT to the in chambers on आज के बाद 2 हफ्ते की तारीख के बीच. Full stop. ऊपर ये भी लिखिए, the learned district judge will also make his recommendations on the steps that may be taken to eliminate such influences, such unwarranted influences. Full stop. ये भी डाल दीजिए. चलिए जी आगे.
Why don't you page 198 के ऊपर एक क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन है कंप्लेनेंट की FIR 48 of 23 की हमारा. अब ये माय लॉर्ड इसका थोड़ा सा पस मंजर मैं अगर जनाब को बता दूं कि मैं जब हम इसमें ट्रायल में पहली बार वकालतनामा लेकर गए तो हमें ऑनरेबल ट्रायल कोर्ट ने कहा कि 342 की जवाबात जमा कराएं और फाइनल आर्गूमेंट्स करें, बाकी सब प्रोसीडिंग्स हो चुकी हैं कंप्लीट. जब हमने उसकी ट्रायल कोर्ट की फाइल ली, कॉपी कराई, तो उसके अंदर एक लर्नड स्टेट काउंसिल अपॉइंट हो चुकी थी जो क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशंस कर चुकी थी सब विटनेसेस के ऊपर. जब वो पढ़ी तो उसमें से काफ़ी सारी गिव अप कर दी गई थी. तो फिर हमने उनको स्टेट काउंसिल से रब्ता किया, उनसे पूछा और उन्होंने निगेट किया इस बात को कि मैं इस केस के अंदर स्टेट काउंसिल अपॉइंट नहीं हुई, ये क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन मैंने नहीं की. जिसकी बाबत उन्होंने एक एफिडेविट जमा कराया स्टैम्प पेपर के ऊपर और उन्होंने कहा कि मेरा इस केस से कोई ताल्लुक नहीं है, मैं इस केस में स्टेट काउंसिल नहीं हूँ, आई डू नॉट नो कि ये क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन किसने करनी और मेरा नाम यूज हो गया.
देखिए ये तो फिर एक वो तो ठीक है, वो एक अलग चीज़, लेकिन ये तो एक स्पेसिफिक ट्रायल में आपका ये कहना है कि एक जुडिशल ऑफिसर फॉर वॉट एवर रीजन could be inadvertently on also, where he was led to believe that the cross-examination had been conducted by the state council and it had not been conducted. But that would be a ground for you to take in a criminal revision before the High Court in that specific trial.
तो उन्होंने हमारी एप्लीकेशन के ऊपर ही हमें अलाउ किया कि आप सारे PWs को दोबारा क्रॉस कर लें. तो वो हमने किया ये है. बट इसी तरह के बहुत सारे और वाक़यात होंगे जो कि अभी तक नज़र में नहीं आए, क्योंकि वो तो टेक्निकली फिर 2-2.5 साल से अनरिप्रेजेंटेड ट्रायल फेस कर रहा था और उसका 342 और फाइनल आर्गुमेंट्स होने वाले थे.
ये बात आपकी ठीक है, और जो मेरा ऑर्डर किया है जज को इंसिडली तौर पे मैं उसको देख लूँगा, लेकिन ये इस केस से मुताल्लिक़ बात नहीं है. दिस केस इज़ प्री ट्रायल. देखिए ना, दिस केस इज़ ऑल अबाउट व्हाट हैपन्स अप टू द पॉइंट that an FIR is registered, and also to the extent that post FIR how the investigation is carried out at an institutional level by FIA, right? But when all that is before the trial court and the trial court after hearing the evidence passes a verdict, then the route to challenge that shifts to the appellate process. It cannot be looked into in these constitution provisions.
One of the family of the accused in this case had also moved an application to the MIT. As of now, all the trials have been taken from that trial court and given to 2 other trial courts.
वो इसका इस petition से ताल्लुक नहीं है.
Well, I'll move on to page 198 पे. 198 की ये क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन है माय लॉर्ड कंप्लेनेंट की, और इसकी मैं आपको first page my lord 8 lines my lord. I did not surrender my cell phone to the IO. Volunteered, I did not log in my Facebook ID in my mobile. I logged in my Facebook in computer or laptop. I did not surrender my laptop and computer to the IO. It is correct that as per screenshot it is mentioned that मेरी pics को भी ऐसे edit कर दो at page number 55 of exhibit PW 1/A216. I do not remember as to for how many days I remained in the groups. Volunteered, person used to add me and used to quit, and I used to log in 2-3 times in a month. I might have conversation with persons in the group, but I do not remember them. Volunteered, I used to make conversation with them to ascertain whether they were Pakistani or not. It is correct that a chat was sent to me that Mazhabi ? And I replied yes. Then text was received to me, soch lo, to which I replied soch liya, and that I have to surrender my iman, and I replied soch liya in exhibit so and so. A text was received to me, boy ke girl, which I replied girl in exhibit so and so. Same text was repeated in exhibit so and so. There is no my nickname except Asim Mughal. It is correct with my Facebook ID is in the name of Misha Khan 1112. मतलब मैं इसको आगे रेलेवेंट पार्ट पे जाता हूँ, बल्कि लास्ट लाइन से माइनर इसी पेज में. I am complainant of case FIR number 48 of 23. FIR 43 of 23 got registered by me few days before the incident FIR. In that FIR, I also did not send it on mobile. I only sent it my Facebook ID. I do not remember which ID I sent in that case. Again said that ID was Mazhabi so and so, which I surrendered. It is incorrect to suggest that in that case I surrendered Facebook ID Ishaq Khan 1112. Amir Zafar is my partner in workshop. Amir Zafar also got registered FIR prior to my FIR. It is correct that Amir Zafar surrendered Facebook ID Ishaq Khan 1112. So again, two different complainants in two different FIRs are claiming that they were using the same Facebook account. Logically, if one had been seized by the FIA prior to the next FIR, the complainant could not have said in his complaint that I was using the account because
पिछली cross-examination की समझ नहीं आई. The text was sent to me, charge sent to me that Mazhabi question mark and I replied yes. Then text received सोच लो to which I replied सोच लिया. And then I have to surrender my email. ये क्या बात है?
ये ट्रायल कोर्ट की फोरेंसिक रिपोर्ट का हिस्सा है जिसके अंदर की स्क्रीनशॉट्स लगी हुई हैं ब्लास्फेमी ग्रुप्स की चैट्स की. ये वहाँ पे मैसेज करके कह रहे हैं कि मेरी पिक्चर्स को ऐसे एडिट कर दो. The complainant himself is saying that. This is a message sent by him. And then the
कैसे?
My lord, I just want to clarify on the video. I brought my laptop and my phone because it can't be transferred. The compression reduces the clarity. So I have the frame by frame on my phone and I have the high resolution video on my laptop. So I can hand over that laptop and the frame by frame can be seen by Mr. Rao Abdur Rahim on my phone.
I would advise you against handing over your
My
phone
lord,
and
I'll hold
laptop.
my phone myself and just show him in court because I've taken the pictures frame by frame which show the number plate.
Can you also show to the court?
My lord, on my laptop and on my phone because if I transfer it onto this,
जी.
my lord, I'll just hand my phone to the court first so the court can see. There's a series of images. You just have to scroll right and zoom into them.
I need to scroll right.
My lord, you have to
Even
first
this one.
zoom into it and then you zoom out and scroll right and zoom into the next one. There are 4 or 5 different angles.
I still can't read the number.
My lord, I have very weak eyesight, but even I can see in the 4 from the different angles. It's ALA 356 and I've taken stills on my laptop that might be easier to view.
I think it would.
And I have the high resolution video on this as well.
scroll left like that.
There's 4 different angles. This is one picture.
Yeah, it can still be disputed, Ms. Mazari, unless, a forensic person looks at it, which is something that the commission would be able to, rather than taking the view that this is it. They'll also...
My lord, but just, it's clear as day what the number plate is.
It's not to me, I don't understand. Maybe my eyes, I don't think it has gone that bad yet.
My lord, with my terrible eyesight, I can see in all of the images.
You might be far...
But my lord, this is a task for the commission. The commission will have an IT expert if so formed.
Exactly.
We can provide this.
They would have ways and means of enhancing the resolution to a point beyond dispute.
But my lord, in the event that, for example, I was asked if this was my car, I would have no hesitation in giving an affidavit where it is not my car. That affidavit has not been provided for a reason.
देखिए, Miss Mazari, again, I don't know when I am veering off into the realm of the commission and when I am staying in the realm of a constitutional court. This would be one where I'd be veering off, because they would then also say, "Gee, this must be forensically examined also."
My lord.
All those questions. The point that you have made is that according to you, Mr. Shiraz is visible in that video.
My lord.
By the way, is Mr. Shiraz here?
I believe he is here today, my lord. I believe he is here today.
Is he here?
Shiraz Ahmed.
He's.
He was present. I saw him
You saw
outside
him,
the
then
court.
he may be here. So, and that you say that this is Mr. Rao's car.
Because my lord, Mr. Rao has conceded that the number plate is of his car. He's just saying he can't see the picture or the video.
Did he concede that?
He stated that. He said that that's on the stream. He said ALA 356 is my car registration, but I cannot see the video clearly. That was his statement at the bar.
Let's ask him if he can see it clearly. आप शिराज हैं? अच्छा शिराज, आप इन्होंने जो वीडियो दिखाई है उसमें आप नज़र आ रहे हैं उस लड़के को लेके जाते हुए।
सर मैंने भी देखी थी सोशल मीडिया पे जो वीडियो चल रही थी, तो उसमें सच को मुझे अक्स नज़र आ रहा है, कोई बंदा मेरे से मुशाबहत रखता है
तो आप
ना वो वीडियो में।
आप वो नहीं है?
नहीं वो मैं नहीं हूँ
आप ही के एफिडेविट बस दे दें।
जी मैं दे दूँगा सर।
जमा करा दें
जी डन।
कि इस फाइल आप भी एफिडेविट। और आप क्या राव साहब कह रहे हैं कि ये गाड़ी
जो नंबर बताया जा रहा है
वो है
मेरे
आपकी
नाम पे रजिस्टर्ड है, ये गाड़ी वो नहीं
अच्छा,
है।
ये
गाड़ी की एविडेंस मैंने आपको कहा था कि मैं अपनी टर्म पे दे देता हूं।
आपसे नंबर पढ़ा जा रहा है?
जी मुझे नहीं पढ़ा नहीं गया, इन्होंने मुझे बताया था कि ये नंबर ये है, यहाँ पे बोला गया था, तो वो जो नंबर बोला गया था वो मेरे नाम पे रजिस्टर्ड है, लेकिन ये गाड़ी वो नहीं है।
आप भी एफिडेविट दे दीजिए कि ये गाड़ी मेरी नहीं है, बस खत्म हो जाएगी। ठीक है, we will leave it at that.
My
So
lord.
I will record this point and
My lord.
move on from there. चलिए तला साहब।
Lordship, before starting into the details of the cases, I have prepared a presentation to differentiate between groups, accounts and pages of Facebook.
माइक नीचे करो, ये बीच में।
So Lordship, this is a guide to Facebook usership. Once you approach the Facebook, this is the display that you found. So if you want to log in, you have to add either your email address or your phone number, then the password, and then you can log in. In the next slide, an ID has been logged in, and that's how the display is of a Facebook ID. And there you can see that there is also a logout button. You can click on it and then the ID will be logged in. This is the Facebook account. And Lordship, this is the groups. Like there is suggestion of the groups. Groups are of two types. Either it is a private group or it is a public group. If you want to be part of a private group, you have to send a request, and once accepted, you can be part of that group. So for example,
It's understood.
yeah, so we have also shown that this is the group, and now the person is part of that group. So once he is part of the group, he can communicate with any member of that group through the Facebook Messenger. Now this is a page, Islamabad page, and this is the chat. So a member has been contacted through Facebook Messenger, and this is the chat between them. And Lordship, the third thing that was discussed is a Facebook page. A Facebook page is public. Anyone can click on the follow button and you can see whatever is posted on the Facebook. So there are three things: account, group and page. Account is private, group can either be private or public, and the page is always public. Then Lordship, this is the Meta official policy regarding the request and everything. I'll discuss briefly. So Lordship, we asked that what is a government data request? There is the detail in it that a government agency approached them for the account detail, and then the detail is given to the relevant government agency. Then there is a global overview in which they tell that how many requests were requested. So basically, after 2013, after every 6 months, the data is made public of every country who requested the number of the accounts and the information that was given by the Facebook to that particular country. So I have the reports from 2019 to 2024. The ratio of the response to Pakistan is more than the one that is average to other countries. So like the average response is 78%, whereas to the Pakistan government request it is 82%. Lordship, now this is when it was asked that who reviews the government request. So they have the legal experts who request the, who basically see that request and then analyze it. These are the overall reports. I just want to mention one case study here. Yes, Lordship. So this is an African state, and there were certain Facebook posts that were violating the local law of that country. They requested Facebook, and Facebook removed the access of that particular data in that particular country. Then we have further 2 case studies of Germany, where there is a law that you cannot ridicule a politician. Germany requested Facebook to remove all that content. Facebook stated, although it is not against our guidelines, but the access to that data will be restricted within the territorial jurisdiction of Germany. And same happened in India. There was in Karnataka state, there was something that was posted, although it was not against the guideline of the Facebook, but the access of it was restricted within the state of Karnataka. Then Lordship, the Deputy Director of the FIR stated that it is part of their SOPs that they do not carry out the forensic of the complainant. Lordship, this is a complete PPT, as well as I have the printouts in which we have in detail explained why the forensic of the complainant is necessary. I'll just give one example out of it. I will not get into the more technical details.
No. This is the technical. This technical detail is actually the meat of this case, Raja Saab. So you have to spend time on this.
Sure, Your Lordship.
This is exactly the area which, because if it is technical and requires some effort at understanding, that the courts and the system avoids it.
So, Lordship, there are 3 things that we will discuss in this. First is URL. Second is IP addresses, and third is hashes. The most important of them is the hashes. So URL, what is the purpose of URL? It identifies that a thing was uploaded. So what is the precise location of that particular resource? The precise location of that. And the IP address verify the device that was used. And lots of the internet service providers, if they can correlate the data of the IPs to exactly pinpoint the location through which or from where the content was actually uploaded. Lordship, firstly we will discuss the uniform resource locator, that is the URL. So URL define how and where a resource is accessed, let's say a Facebook page or a message, a web page. So the structured protocol is that it is made up of 3 parts. First is the protocol, that is HTTP or something like that. Then we have the domain, for example www.facebook.com or Gmail or any email. And then the path that suggests the specific product that was accessed on that site. So we have also given the example below. Now, what is the importance of the URL in forensic? So Lordship, during any web activity, the investigators can actually look into the URL to track firstly the user behavior, like what sort of data was actually being accessed by that specific user, and the access patterns. Then they can carry out the hash of that URL. Now what is the hash thing? If the hash is collected of a particular data, it gives us a value, and the value is very, very specific. So if even a little tampering is done in the evidence, and again the hash is collected, it will be totally different than the initial hash. So it's like the fingerprint of the person. There cannot be two identical hashes. Then what's up the IP addresses? IP addresses is to identify the network devices. There are two types of IPs. One is the static IP that is normally with the broadband or that we have the Wi-Fi. And then there is dynamic IP that is mainly changing. It is normally associated to the mobile data. However, it's not that it is continuously changing. Like when we are talking about a particular event, there can be a handful of the IPs, and the exact one can be tracked by the investigation agency. So, what's the relevance in the evidence? It is used to identify from where the request was originated. There are exact timestamps. So let's say if a message was sent at 1:13 p.m., there will be an exact time span of 1:13 p.m. there. So the forensic expert can actually map a digital behavior of that particular person.
But he would need analytical tools and software to do that. Manually it can't be done.
Yes, Lord.
So I wonder if CIA has those tools.
Lordship, they say that they have the most recent tools for that.
No, to be able to access and catalog the traffic data at the ISP's side.
So they can answer.
Not the device side. I get you.
So Lordship, this is again related to the ISP, that is the internet service providers. They have the.
This is known.
Okay. So yeah, this is the hash function. Lordship, hashes are generated by some cryptographic hash function data, like you give a.
Which is also known.
Okay. Should I talk about this or move on?
What, you are explaining how data integrity can be tracked all along the path. I don't think that is a disputed question at all.
Lots of the dispute is that it has not been collected by the agency, which is actually casting the doubt that if it would have been collected, it would be very clear that who has actually shared that particular content.
Yes, that is a matter related not to the technical aspects of these matters, but that is a choice that the investigation agent continues to make. And that is what needs to be examined. Why is it entirely in the discretion of the IO? And why is it not a standard SOP for the complainant's device as well as the complainant's traffic data to be analyzed wherever the accused takes the defense of entrapment? Right. So this is something which is a matter of investigative SOPs, and the commission, if it is formed, ought to look at it in greater detail. And until then, FIA will also tell us why in digital evidence cases these SOPs have not been modified yet, after so much noise also. With 348 cases being registered, why haven't they on their own taken the initiative to realize that there is a possible loophole here, so let's close it.
So Lord, should I discuss this or should I move towards the case?
No, move on.
Okay. Lordship, I have tried to make it as precise as possible, so I'll be discussing only 5 cases. So the first one of that is So, Lordship, the issue in this was that the person was arrested at 8:35 p.m. The person was arrested at 8:35 p.m. However, for the very first time, the Facebook ID was logged into his phone was at 9:29 p.m. 1 hour after the arrest. For the very, I have also attached the relevant page from the forensic, the technical report of that.
Where does it show the time of arrest?
Lordship, the page is page number 3.
Page number 3 is barely legible.
Lordship, the other logins, where there is other logins.
Yes.
Yes, Lordship, now you can see that Android phone was using that particular ID. The first time it was logged into the Techno Spark, the phone of the accused is at 21:28, that is 9:28 and 9:29 above. And he was arrested at 8:35.
So this is at 9:29. Login. But already arrested at
8:35
AM or PM?
PM.
Okay.
So, Lordship, when the person was granted bail by the Honorable Islamabad High Court, on the very next day, his father, when he came out of the mosque, he was beaten by certain people and said that you should not appear in the court. So, the very same day, an application came from the side of the prosecution that the bail of the accused be cancelled if it does not appear in the court. The very day. I am not aware that how was the prosecution able to understand this thing, that there are some chances that the accused will not present in the court. And a death note was hanged in front of his house. I have also attached the picture on page number 4. So that he does not appear. The same issue was requested with the trial court, but the trial court stated that if he does not appear before 3 p.m. today, his bail will be cancelled right away. Now, Lordship, in this particular case, there was a delay of 1 hour. Now, I'll move towards the second case, where the delay is even greater. So, Lordship, if we can come towards the page number 6, that is another FIR. And the FIR is registered on 24th of July 2023. On the very next page, page number 7, we have also annexed the application. The date on the application is also the same, that is 24th of July 2023. Now, Lordship, interestingly, the phone was confiscated from the accused 5 days prior to the submission of the application even. On the very next page is the statement, page number 8. So, Lordship, on page number 8, we have the statement. There are 2 witnesses of the seizure memo when the mobile phone was seized from the accused. So, if we can see the third last line of the statement, it says that the mobile phone was recovered on 19th of July 2023. That is 5 days prior to the application and registration of the FIR. On the page number 9, we have the statement of the second witness. There are only 2 witnesses. He also stated that the mobile phone was recovered on 19/7, that is 5 days prior.
This is the same Mudassar Shah who also investigated Rao Abdul Rahim's case.
We are talking about the IU?
Yeah.
Yes, Lordship. He is the same IU.
Yeah, the name cropped up in discussion.
Yeah, he is the same IU.
आगे चलिए.
Then Lordship.
How is it explained?
Lordship,
How was it? Has the trial started?
Lordship, the trial has started and sadly the bail has been even rejected from both the courts.
So how was this point addressed in that judicial order?
Lordship, in the High Court when it was asked, there was no explanation to this fact. The IU was there, present during the bail hearing.
How did the IU explain?
He said
कि
that
phone जो है वो मैंने कब्जे में इस्तगासे और FIR से 5 दिन कबल सीजर मेमो के तहत ले लिया था.
there was no explanation from the side of the IU. That's the thing.
How can there be no explanation for this?
There was no, although the counsel of the complainant stated that it is a technical error. How can there be a technical error on the statement of 2 witnesses?
What do you mean technical error?
They said that it was a clerical error, sorry, while writing. How can it happen to both of the statements? The only statement.
Did the court see the investigation report?
Yes, and it was same in the investigation report. The IU was not able to answer this question.
So what happened in the bail application before the
It
High
was
Court?
dismissed, Lordship.
Also dismissed there. I would like to see, was this point discussed in the bail order?
Yes, Lord. No, it was not. There was no ground discussed. It was a generic order.
आगे चलिए.
Lordship, then on page number 10 we have another case.
Which bench was it?
Page number 10, Lordship.
Which bench was it?
In the Islamabad High Court, it was the bench of Honorable Justice Abata.
आगे चलिए. Up page.
Lordship, page number 10.
Yeah.
So, Lordship, it is another case, and the accused in it, was in Dubai for the past 2.5 years. So he landed in Pakistan. On page number 11, I have annexed the pages of the passport where there is the exit stamp. So, Lordship, he landed on 16th of April 2024, and the very next day, that is the morning of the next day, he landed at night. An FIR was registered there and then, and he was arrested there and then. A person who was not even in the country, and I'm not even like. Passport pictures on page number 11.
So, what's wrong with that?
Lordship, now when a person is residing in some other country, the issue is that if per se that there was some offense committed, how is it that possible that within the moment of 10 hours the FIA was alerted, the FIR was registered, and the same person was arrested? I cannot find a link that how within the period of 10 hours this can be ascertained that this is the
So
culprit.
when was the complaint received by the FIA?
Same day, Lordship. So that is 17/4.
My application.
Lordship, it's not annexed. I can provide it later on. I try to keep it very
आप
precise.
कह रहे हैं कि उसी दिन कंप्लेंट रजिस्टर हुई,
Yes.
मतलब कंप्लेंट फाइल हुई, उसी दिन FIR हो गई, कोई वेरिफिकेशन और इंक्वायरी उसमें नहीं की गई और उसको अरेस्ट कर दिया.
अरेस्ट कर लिया तो 2 साल से किसी और मुल्क में.
और यानी उसका एक फ़ोन पहले एग्जामिन, उसको अरेस्ट करके उसका फ़ोन एग्जामिन किया.
जी.
ठीक.
Lordship, moving towards the next case, that is page number 13. So, Lordship, what happened that an FIR was registered 2nd of March 2023 at 12:30 p.m. The only thing that was recovered during the arrest was a mobile phone, a button mobile phone, Nokia buttons mobile phone, on which no Facebook, WhatsApp, anything cannot be accessed.
Nokia phone recovered.
Yeah, Lordship, the
It's not a smartphone.
No, not
What do you call it? A button phone.
a button phone. Yes, Lordship. The seizure memo is on page number 14.
No, but I think button phones you can also access.
In this phone, you cannot access.
So it did not have Wi-Fi.
No.
And why could not it access it on the mobile network?
Yes, Lord. There's only the you can do the message, the text message or the call. So, Lordship, what happened that now at this stage, the Facebook ID was being associated to this person. When it was during the bail argument, it was questioned from the IO, what evidence do you have? So he stated that the accused provided him with the password of that ID, so that establishes that the ID is his. So I have a humble submission here. If I stated before this that if I make an ID of anyone's name and I go to FIA and say that this is the ID and this is the password, I will be providing the password. How can this particular fact that someone has provided the password is the nexus between the ID and the person? Lordship, but there is more interesting thing that's coming ahead.
बहुत पुराना तरीका है कि आपका पिस्तौल आप पुलिस खुद प्रोड्यूस करती है, अनलाइसेंसी पिस्तौल है, और वो क्या उसको बोलते हैं आप, प्लांटेड रिकवरी।
जी,
ये तो पाकिस्तान हमेशा से बड़े सगीर में हो रहा है। प्लांटेड रिकवरी का केस है आप।
Yes, Lordship. But Lordship, I will also in the next upcoming argument in this case, I'll show you some superpowers that were exercised by the FIA. So now the FIR is registered at 12:30.
एक सेकंड काउंसिल, यू आर गोइंग टू फास्ट।
Sorry, Lordship. So, Lordship, now what happened next is that the FIR is registered at 12:30 p.m. So he was arrested somewhere. Then as per the Chalhan, a warrant was taken from the court for to have a check at the place, the home, the residence of the accused. So now, keeping it in mind, the FIA's office is here in Islamabad. There would be some time taken by them to acquire the warrant, the search warrant, and then they travelled around 4 hours to the place, the house in Jhelum, where they conducted a raid, the search, and then it would have taken them some 4 hours to come back, and then they would have to prepare for a technical report for that purpose. Now, interestingly, all this
It doesn't take 4 hours to get to jail.
no, not at the exact address. We can Google map where the person lives. So, Lordship, all this exercise, arrest, taking the search warrant, traveling, raiding, coming back, then doing that the technical analysis of the phone, all this happened within the time period of 10 to 11 hours. Same date. I personally am not able to understand that how is that even possible, but this is the case here.
So the FIR was registered at 12:30 hour.
Yes, Lord.
And on what basis are you calculating forward the time of 10 to 11 hours? To what
Lordship,
event?
from 12:30 to the night of that, because the date changes after 12.
I know.
Because the date on everything is same. That is the date of the registration of the FIR.
Is the 2nd of March.
Yeah, that is 2nd of March.
And then after that, what is the event after 10 hours that you are referring to, which would take us to about 11 p.m. that you link it back with this? What happened at 11 p.m.?
In that 11 hours, the search warrant was taken.
آپ 11 یہ آپ کہہ رہے ہیں 11 پی ایم کے اوپر کوئی کاروائی یا کوئی ایونٹ ہوا ہوگا نا جہاں سے آپ ورک بیک کر رہے ہیں کہ یہ ساری چیزیں ہو گئی ہیں.
لارڈ صاحب 12 کے بعد تو ڈیٹ ہی چینج ہو جائے گی نا, تو اس پہ ڈیٹ ہر چیز پہ 2 مارچ ہی لکھی ہوئی ہے.
یہ 12:30 آورز جو ہے
یہ دن کے ہیں
ایگزیکٹلی یہ نون ہو گئے
جی,
10-11 گھنٹے رات کے 11 بج گئے.
رات کے 12 کے بعد ڈیٹ 3 ہو جاتی.
3 کو کیا ہوا؟
نہیں 3 کو سے پہلے انہوں نے 2 کا سارا انویسٹیگیشن کر لی نا, اس کو ایکیوز میں اس کے فون بھی ریکور
آپ یہ کہاں سے ٹائم اٹھا رہے ہیں کہ جناب یہ کر کے واپس بھی آ گئے؟
لارڈ صاحب اگر ٹیکنیکل انالیسس 12 کے بعد چینج ہوتی تو اس کے ٹیکنیکل انالیسس پہ ڈیٹ لکھی ہوتی 3 مارچ, اس پہ ڈیٹ 2 مارچ ہی ہے. میں تھوڑا سا دوبارہ
فون کا ٹیکنیکل انالیسس بھی اسی دن ہو
اسی دن سب کچھ اسی دن ہوا ہے. لارڈ
صاحب ٹیکنیکل کے فورینسک
no technical, the technical report,
which is the much detailed exercise.
no which is the naked IP.
Basic یہ کیوں نہیں ہو سکتا؟
لارڈ صاحب پہلی بات اس لیے نہیں ہو سکتا کہ جب انہوں نے ایک بندے کو اریسٹ کیا تو اس کے پاس تو بٹن فون تھا, تو یہ تو اسٹیبلش ہی نہیں کر سکتے تھے کہ وہ فیس بک آئی ڈی اس کے اوپر ہے, ٹھیک ہے. لیکن پھر بھی مان لیا انہوں نے ایک جگہ سے وہ لیا وارنٹ لیا, وارنٹ لینے میں بھی ٹائم لگے گا. اس کے بعد جیلم گئے, جیلم
وہاں کیا کرنے گئے؟
سرچ کنڈکٹ کی. جیلم اس کا گھر ہے نا, وہاں سے موبائل فون ریکور ہوئے ہیں.
موبائل فون وہاں سے ریکور
جی
ہوئے ہیں
جی, جو انہوں نے
یعنی ایک سے زیادہ موبائل فون
جی جی, جو بعد میں گرفتاری کے ٹائم ایک بٹن فون تھا اس کے پاس.
اچھا ٹھیک.
اور ڈاکٹر اس میں ایک اور مسئلہ ہے کہ وہ جو فون بکول ان کے انہوں نے وہاں سے ریکور کیے ہیں اس کی آنرشپ کا بھی کوئی ایویڈنس نہیں ہے, کیونکہ جو 2 موبائل فون سمز یہ اس سے ایسوسیٹ کر رہے ہیں.
ٹرائل کی بات ہے, یہ ٹرائل کی بات ہے.
ٹھیک لارڈ صاحب ایک اور لاسٹ یہ ہے, یہ بیکاز ہمیں لیٹر آن یہ ہم نے ڈھونڈا تو آئی ول بی پرووائڈنگ دس کاپی. یہ FIR ہے 73/2022 in which راو عبدالرحیم از دا کمپلیننٹ. اب باقی تو مجھے نہیں کسی اور کیس میں پتا, لیکن اس میں انہوں نے اپنا وہ اسپین والا فون نمبر دیا ہے. لاسٹ پیج پہ اپلیکیشن لگی ہوئی ہے, اس کی پہلی لائن میں ہے جو واٹس ایپ نمبر دیا ہوا ہے کہ سائل کے واٹس ایپ نمبر پر دس از دا اسپین فون. نو لارڈ صاحب دس از دا فورینسک رپورٹ, دیٹ از دا سیکنڈ لاسٹ پیج نمبر. آئی آلسو ہائی لائٹڈ دا پارٹ.
ان لنکس کو سائل نے کلک کیا تو سائل مختلف واٹس ایپ گروپس کا لا علمی میں خود بخود ممبر بن گیا.
جی
لا علمی میں کیسے آپ ممبر بن جاتے ہیں؟ آپ اگر ہے بھی تو آپ اسی کو تو اس کو چھوڑ بھی سکتے ہیں.
ایگزیکٹلی یو کین ریموو. لارڈ صاحب آپ لنک پہ کلک کرتے ہیں اور اگر آپ کو گروپ جوائن ہوتا ہے تو آپ ڈائریکٹلی اس گروپ میں جاتے ہیں, اسی کی چارٹ کھل جاتی ہے. ایسا نہیں ہوتا کہ آپ ایڈ ہو جائیں آپ کو پتہ ہی نہ چلا. بٹ لارڈ صاحب جو میں پوائنٹ اس میں اسٹیبلش کرنا چاہتا ہوں,
لیکن یہ تو کہہ رہی ہے کہ چلیں ممبر بن گیا, لیکن مجھے ایکچولی یہ میسیجز ریسیو ہوئے.
میں لارڈ صاحب ایک اور پوائنٹ یہاں پہ اسٹیبلش کرنا چاہتا ہوں. یہ دیکھیں اپلیکیشن میں وہ کہہ رہے ہیں راو عبدالرحیم کے یہ میرا نمبر ہے. اب اس سے ایک جو پچھلا پیج اگر آپ اس پہ آ جائیں, یہ راو عبدالرحیم کا موبائل فون کا فورینسک ہے اور اس میں
اسپین نمبر ہے.
جی اس میں نمبر یہی ہے, لیکن اصل مسئلہ وہ نہیں ہے. آپ اگر نیم دیکھیں تو نیم کیا ہے ان کا بسما.
جو ان کو ان کے کزن نے لا کے دیا ہوا
بقول ان کے جی. لیکن استعمال یہ کہہ رہے ہیں, میں کر رہا ہوں اپلیکیشن میں لکھا میرا نمبر ہے, ابھی بسما کون ہے جو واٹس ایپ ان کا نام تھا, یہ وہ بہتر بتا سکتے ہیں.
اچھا آگے
لاٹ سے میرے کیسز جو ہیں یہ تھے, اس میں میرے کنکلوڈ میں نے کر لیا. میں صرف ایک اور پوائنٹ یہاں پہ لاٹ سے پیش کرنا چاہتا ہوں کہ جس اسٹیبلش پرنسپل ان کرمنل لا, a person is considered innocent until proven guilty. اب مسئلہ یہ ہے کہ ان کیسز میں جس کو بھی اریسٹ کیا جاتا ہے اس کو جیل میں سرکل 4 میں رکھا جاتا ہے, جو کہ ڈیتھ سیل کے پرزنرز کی جیل ہے. اب اس میں 8x12 کا کمرہ ہوتا ہے اور اس میں 8 لوگ اس کے اندر موجود ہیں, جہاں اندر ہی واش روم سب کچھ اسی جگہ پہ ہوتا ہے. تو اب یہ انڈر ٹرائل پرزنرز ہیں, ان کو تھوڑا تو ہیومین بیہیویئر شو کرنا چاہیے. جب سزا ہو جائے پھر تو رکھیں وہاں پر ڈیتھ سیل میں, سزا ہونے سے پہلے ابھی دے آر انوسینٹ, ان کو ڈیتھ سیل میں رکھا جاتا ہے. لاٹس آف دیٹس مائی سبمیشنز. تھینک یو فار دا پیشنس.
تھینک یو تھینک یو. تو then who's next? Ms. Mazari, do you want to avail your 15 minutes today?
My lord, if I could do so tomorrow at the beginning of the hearing, I only require 15 minutes.
Tomorrow may not be possible. Then the case will now be on Monday.
My lord, I'll just take 15 minutes.
Okay. So then we'll take up the case on اب تنبولی صاحب رہ گئے نا.
My lord, Tamboli Sahab also.
کل کیس پاسبل نہیں ہو سکے گا تنبولی صاحب.
ابھی میرے سر ڈی پی میں کچھ میٹرز ہیں, ابھی ڈی پی نمبر 4 میں 12 بجے.
تو منڈے کو آپ پھر کریں بحث, اور ہم کوشش کریں گے کہ اسی دن ایمان صاحبہ کو بھی سن لیں.
اوکے سر.
نہیں تو ان کو نیکسٹ مارننگ وہ شروع کر لیں گی, اور پھر انشاءاللہ منڈے ٹیوزڈے ویڈنسڈے 4 days we will continue and see how it goes.
My lord.
ٹھیک ہے جی. ٹھیک ہے جی. Mr. Rajat Talha, for the petitioners completed his submissions. Now to come up for submissions of Mr. Tamboli on Monday ki tarikh.
Thank you.
Thank you. ہاں جی.
Following a 30 versus Musamma